Britain is set to summon Russia's ambassador in London after a wave of Russian missile strikes on Kyiv caused widespread destruction, killing civilians, damaging key international buildings, and leaving European leaders united in condemnation. Among the sites struck was the British Council's building in Ukraine's capital, alongside the European Union delegation offices. The British Council confirmed that its building in Kyiv was badly damaged. Chief Executive Scott MacDonald said a security guard was injured in the blast, but remains in stable condition. He added that, despite the attack, the Council would continue its operations in Ukraine wherever possible, insisting that education and cultural ties would not be silenced by violence. Reacting swiftly, Foreign Secretary David Lammy said that President Vladimir Putin's strikes last night killed civilians, destroyed homes, and damaged international institutions. He declared that Britain has summoned the Russian ambassador to answer for the escalation, adding firmly that, quote, "the killing and destruction must stop." Prime Minister Keir Starmer went further, saying his thoughts were with families affected by the strikes. He accused Putin of killing children and civilians and of deliberately sabotaging any hopes of peace. Starmer's words underline the British government's hardened stance against Moscow as civilian casualties mount. The European Union confirmed its delegation building was also damaged in the overnight attacks. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas condemned the strikes, stressing that no diplomatic mission should ever be a target. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen added that 2 missiles had landed within seconds near the EU site, calling it a reckless act that could have killed dozens more. Ursula von der Leyen announced that the EU will come with further sanctions against Russia soon, and is advancing work on frozen Russian assets to contribute to Ukraine's reconstruction.
I'm outraged by the attack on Kyiv, also hitting our EU offices. This was the deadliest drone and missile attack on the capital since July. And as you can see behind me on the screen, it was an attack also on our delegation. I just spoke with our deputy ambassador, and I'm relieved that none of our staff were harmed. Last night's attack struck in close proximity of the diplomatic mission, the representation of our union. 2 missiles hit in a distance of 50 meters of the delegation within 20 seconds. And this is another grim reminder of what is at stake. It shows that the Kremlin will stop at nothing to terrorize Ukraine, blindly killing civilians, men, women, and children, and even targeting the European Union. We will come forward soon with our 19th package of hard-biting sanctions. And in parallel, we are advancing the work on the Russian frozen assets to contribute to Ukraine's defense and reconstruction.
Ukrainian officials confirmed that the broader wave of strikes across the capital killed at least 15 people and injured 38 more. Families have been left grieving, and emergency workers continue to pull survivors from the rubble. Moscow, however, insists its missiles were aimed at military sites and air bases. A Kremlin spokesperson said Russia remains open to political and diplomatic talks to achieve its stated objectives. As Kyiv mourns its dead and international buildings lie in ruins, Europe is united in sending a message to Moscow. The attacks on civilians and diplomatic institutions will not go unanswered. For Ukraine, the strikes are yet another reminder of a war that continues to exact a heavy human toll, even as calls for peace grow louder. And before we wrap, don't forget to subscribe to the Indian Express YouTube channel for the latest on the Russia-Ukraine conflict and more updates from around the world.